Welcome back for another Tutorial Tuesday wedding series. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make these acetate cake toppers. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do that now and let's get started. We're going to start by heading over to Cricut Design Space and we're going to type in the text that we want to have on our cake topper. I'm just going to use Mr. and Mrs. because this is a quick and easy tutorial. So once you have the text you want, you're going to change the font if you would like. I'm changing mine. I am going to use Birds of Paradise because I like this script. I did think about using Blackbird, but it didn't really work for me. So I'm just going to stick to Birds of Paradise. I'm going to go ahead and resize this. The typical wedding cake topper is about 5.5 inches wide, so I'm going to make it 5.5 inches wide. If you are putting a last name at the bottom, you want to make it at least 5 inches tall. Now I'm going to go to the upper left hand corner and click edit, and then we are going to put an offset on our text. You want to make sure that your offset is big enough to create a full halo around your words. So what I'm going to do is make this just a little bit bigger, and once it comes to my liking, I do want it to have a full background on it. So about here is good for me. I'm going to save it, and now I have my template for the clear part of my cake topper. I'm just going to change the color of the offset so you can get a visual of how it's going to look on top of the cake. Then I'm going to head over to shapes, and we are going to add a bottom that we can stick into the cake. I am going to use this like semicircle. I don't know if you want to call it a half oval or a tab. I'm not sure, but I'm going to put this at the bottom, and we're going to weld this together with the background. I have a Mac computer, so I am going to just hit Control and select both that tab and our offset, and then we are going to go ahead and weld this together. I know it looks like the text came off, but it didn't. We're going to go ahead and send this to the back, and now you can see the text again. I'm going to head up to the top toolbar and change the color of my font just so I can see how it all looks together. And it was at this point that I decided that I did not want that tab at the bottom. I wanted something a little sharper just to make sure the cake topper would stick into the cake. So we're going to change the bottom into a triangle. So we're going to go back to shapes, select the square, and place it over top of where we put that tab. We don't want to cut off the bottom of our offset, but we're going to make our square from the very edge of the offset and just stretch it over the tab. Select both the offset and the shape, and then we are going to the bottom right hand corner to select slice. Now that we have our sliced image, we're going to take the pieces we don't need and delete them. Everything, you don't need any of it. And now we are going to go ahead and add a triangle to the bottom of our offset. I'm going to switch this around so that it fits at the bottom as if you're sticking a spoke or whatever you want to call it down into the dirt. So we are going to put this slightly over top of the offset, select the triangle and the offset. Then we're going to go down to the right hand corner, select combine and weld. Once again, when it's welded, you're going to have to send the offset to the back so that you can see your text again. We're just going to right click, and then we're going to select send to back. Now we have our design completed. We're going to go ahead and make it. For this project, I was supposed to use acetate, but I only had inkjet transparency sheets. You want to use acetate because you want it to be clear. For this, we are going to be using the acetate setting on our Cricut. It's still the same type of material, just not as clear. So you just want to type in acetate in the material search bar. As you can see, using the acetate setting gave me the perfect peel, but you can use whatever setting works best for you. Now it's time to cut our cardstock. I always like to use the medium cardstock setting. It works best for me, but again, use what works best for you. As you can see, it cut out perfectly using the medium cardstock setting. Your mat also matters, so make sure that you have a clean mat or a new mat because you'll get the perfect cut every time. Now that we have all of our pieces cut out, we're going to go ahead and start assembling this. I am using craft glue. You can use any craft glue of your choice. I got this little bottle from Hobby Lobby because it helps me to be able to get in the small areas because it has the small tip on it. I really do love it. You don't want to use hot glue on this just because it'll look messy on the back. I am going to use my Cricut tweezers to hold my cardstock letters, and I'm going to apply in small amounts. I mean, the tiniest amounts of glue, just so that you don't have big globs on the back. This will decrease the chances of having it be smeared and messy. You don't want that because you're trying to make it appear that you have an acrylic cake topper. Now that we've applied our glue, we're going to go ahead and try to align this as close as possible. So we're going to lay this down, trying to stick it where it needs to go on the first try. We don't want to smear the glue around. Now for the S on the misses, it is a little thin, so we want to be careful with that. We're just going to make sure that we apply it carefully so that we're not soaking it too much to rip our letter and that we're not bending it. Now that all of our cardstock is stuck down, we're going to make sure that everything is adhered properly, and we're going to allow it to sit and dry. This is the finished result. This could be an amazing addition to any wedding cake. It's nice and simple, easy for you to do on your Cricut, and it looks amazingly classy. And it would especially look great on a piece of acetate or acrylic. I appreciate you guys for joining me for another Tutorial Tuesday. And I hope this video gave you the confidence to do something amazing for your wedding. If you like this video, share this video, and comment down below and let me know what else you would like to see from me. And I'll see you in the next one.